welcome all. Today I am going to talk a bit about standard errors and how to redirect them. So you would redirect the standard error with number 2 and a greater than sign. Simple as that. Now, this is a bit of a tricky area, primarily because you do actually need to cause some errors to happen. And if I may say so, I am an absolute master at this. I can cause errors pretty much anywhere, anyhow. They do happen to me anyway. They happen to all people who deal with these sort of things, who are network admins. You will encounter a download of them. Of that, I assure you. Anyway, let's go ahead and type in ls and then give some nonsensical path to ls, which has no connection to reality of whatsoever, and then redirect this. Just press enter, and then you will see that the output is actually an error message. It says ls cannot access this nonsensical path that is right here. It says no such file or directory. Okay, so we don't want to see that. For the time being, we will redirect this to, where shall we redirect this to? Let's call it let's just call it err, as in error. There you go. Nothing has been printed out to the screen, but if I type in cat err, press enter, there you go. The error has actually successfully been redirected to a file. Now, this is not a very practical example, is it? I mean, it's completely pointless because we want to see this error message unless we wanted to save it to a file and then analyze it later or something of a kind, or log it. But in general, not a very practical example. Let's see if we can do something else. Let's see if we can come up with a more meaningful error message. Type in, let's go to root and type in find. We're going to get a ton load of error messages. Dash I, or just name. Type in whatever you want here. You can literally smash your keyboard. Excellent. So we have gotten a ton load of permission denied messages, and I don't think this is gonna be found. We're not gonna find this anywhere. So let's type in something more meaningful. But I just want to show you that you're getting a lot of meaningless error messages, primarily because you don't want to find reporting that there is a permission denied somewhere or something of a kind. You know what you want to search for, and you are a regular user. Obviously, you won't be able to access root directory or something of a kind. You won't be able to access, maybe, look, you have a folder specified here. It's var, tmp, systemmd, private. Let me just show you what I mean by that. There we go, this one and the ones that followed it and preceded. You won't be able to access something of a kind, and therefore you know you do not want to be searching for it in there. But if you've typed in find, as I have in the root, that can be a problem because it's just going to go through all of these things. And of course you can limit it by specifying a folder, but you can also omit all permission denieds. What are we going to do? We are going to say find dash name. Oops, let's just clear the screen for simplicity's sake. Find dash name space test, and we're gonna do 2 and then redirect to home because we won't be able to save it here. ERR. Excellent. Press enter, and there we go. It has actually located test, file name test, without displaying all those useless error messages here. This is very convenient and very practical. Just compare these two outputs. Seriously, take a look. I'm sure you could find amongst these infinite error messages that test has been found somewhere, and I could scroll upwards until infinity, give you a bit of a headache, I suppose. However, I'm not gonna do that. Anyway, let's just clear the screen and come back to this file. It's find dash name space test 2 greater than, and then we use a shortcut in order to access a file in our home directory. Shortcut is tilde, a shortcut for the current user's home directory. However, we can also do the following. I mean, we can redirect this. We can redirect the results, the legit results, into a file as well. But there is an important concept here to understand. If you want to redirect standard error, you should always, and I mean always, use it last. That's how it works. So let's go ahead and type in greater than sign to tilde slash found, and then type in two greater than sign space tilde ERR. What we are doing here, we are redirecting standard output to a file, and we are redirecting standard error to a file, to a different file as well. Okay, so not a new concept, not an original concept, but the important thing to remember here is that you have to use standard error redirection of the standard error last. Press enter, and there we go. So if I just do cat tilde slash found, there we go. We have all of these things listed out here for us, and now we can have a look at them. Filter them, process them, do whatever you want with them. Doesn't really matter. You can. The file belongs to you. You own it. You are its master, and you are omnipotent in that sense. That would be it for standard error. Now, in the later tutorials, I'm not going to be dealing specifically with standard error, but we are going to be using redirections in general. And you will see how these things come to play when you are typing in longer commands, should I say, and when doing more complex stuff. The combining will be mentioned somewhere along the way, as we will definitely need to use it. By that I mean combining standard error and standard output into one and redirecting one to the other, and so on and so forth. However, keep in mind that these are still some of the basic concepts of redirection, and I haven't really used them in any complex way or something of a kind. Probably the most complex command that I have used thus far is the one in the previous tutorial. But for the time being, I just want you to get acquainted with these concepts. Please know them, as they will, if you fail to actually just memorize these three simple concepts, they will hinder you along the way. So standard output, standard input, standard output, and standard error. Keep them in mind. Those are the three channels that you can use. Those are the three channels that pretty much all commands have, and they are quite important. I cannot emphasize this enough. Sorry if I'm being a bit tedious or something of a kind, but believe me, it is for a very, very good reason. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and bid you all farewell, and I hope to see you all in the next tutorial, where we shall further our understanding of Red Hat and of Linux terminal in general.